welcome back to another episode of the Benchwarmers, brought to you by the Exchange Hotel, our major partner for the show. I'm joined as always by my co-host Brad Bainey. It's good to be back.
Fantastic to be back, Matt. I've been waiting for this all week.
You've been fired up.
Yes, fired up, Chook. It's all happening. We were all revved up last week, and we waited 6 months, and now it feels like 7 days has been a long time to catch up as well. SA's hurting, Chook. Crows, Port, they both went down. I think we're after some feel-good stories this week, aren't we? And some BLG stories as well. Isn't that league just absolutely flying at the minute?
Oh, I think it's a very exciting time for everyone participating in the Barossa and keeping their fingers on the pulse with what's going on. So hopefully we can help do that for them. But exciting to get into those games. But first, Brad, you've got a big feel-good fill-up this week, and I'm looking forward to it. We'll have a break, thank our sponsors, and then we'll come back with the feel-good fill-up.
And we are back with another massive instalment of the Feel Good Fill Up. Matt, we are here to bring everyone their weekly feel good stories. After a tough week for SA, as we said, I've got something for us. I can't wait to get into it. Who do we need to thank?
Yeah, we're going to thank Rejuvenate Sports and Remedial Therapy. Great supporter of the show, Brad. Get down there at the moment, Brad. There's a 10% discount when you refer a friend and mention the show. So good incentive to go and get those tight calves rubbed out.
Fantastic, Chookie. Now, SA, Australia, it's tough over here. I've gone away from the coop. I've gone all the way over to California to find something, Matt. It's been a big week searching around for a good story, but this is up there with some of the best. And he could get naming rights of the Feel Good Fill Up, this bloke, because when I drop it to you, Chook, this is what it is all about. And I don't want any interruptions, okay, this time. Yeah. Let me get through it. If I'm going to choke up, though, you take over, because this one is special. All right, over in California, you might wonder why. There's been a massive spike over the last few years in dog adoptions and cross-country running participation. Now, bear with me. They're at home wondering what on earth, what have they got to do with each other? Now, Louis Escobar, he is one of the all-time greats, the St. Joseph High School cross-country coach. He's a trailblazer 8 years ago. He came up with this program for demotivated runners in his program that were struggling to stick to their program. We've all been there, haven't we, Chook? But he paired the runners up and their squad up with a dog adoption shelter. The demotivated runners, they've gone and they've all had to pick out a dog that doesn't have a home. They take it every session and they take it for a run. The dogs are as happy as Larry. The boys are participating and the girls. They're absolutely flying down there at St. Joseph's. My male has them absolutely flying in the cross-country stats this year. But there's a massive spike in adoptions, not just from the runners. After the program, a lot of the runners are actually just keeping the dog, which is what you want from a dog adoption place. And not only that, the dogs are happier and more jovial and more adoptable if the runners don't take them. And following that, many other schools have been following all this. This happened over the last 8 years, and the dog adoptions are going through the roof, so is cross-country numbers. And Louis Escobar, he's made kids healthier. Chook, bear with me. He's saved the lives of thousands of dogs, and that, this week, folks, is the feel-good fill-up, and he may go down as automatic Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I like it, Brad. Interested to know what the dogs being more jovial looks like as well.
Yeah, you know, they're just grumpy. They might, if they don't get taken for a walk, exercise is good for you. We know that, don't we, Chook? Yeah. If they don't get exercise, they get all grumpy, they get all yappy, and if they bite you, they probably get put down, the poor buggers. But not these ones. They're happy, they're exercising. It's the best thing for them.
No, it's a great feel-good fill-up, Brad, and a nice couple of drive-bys as well. So, well done. Looking forward to next week's instalment, but Louis is going to be hard to beat, and I can see the tears getting, the eyes getting a bit glazed over with the tears as well. So, very happy with that one. We're going to have a quick break, and then we're going to get into some BLG footy. Yes, Brad, as I said, a great story for this week, and Louis will go down as one of the greats, and I'm glad you got your composure back, because we've got a big instalment of BLG footy to run through. 4 huge games on the weekend, and Anzac Day, a couple of blockbusters coming up there as well, which we can't wait to digest also. But let's have a look at round 2 in the Barossa, Brad, and game 1 was Tanunda 14-12-96, defeating Williston 11-10-76. One we both didn't tip, 20-point win the way of the Magpies, and we copped some feedback from Trent Gers.
We did, Matt. We got pulled up, and that's why we love putting this show on. We're not always going to get it right, but we'll speak what we think and we'll be polite about it, unlike Trent. Well done, Trent. Thanks for the feedback. But no, we didn't tip Tanunda. Williston did put up a good show in round one, so we were waiting for them to back that up. But Tanunda, they are looking strong, aren't they, Chook? That puts both of them at 1-1, so the next couple of weeks are very important for them. No surprise there, best for Tanunda, Wildman, and goals to Linky 4, and Jared Trainer with the VC on his name as well this year with 4 as well. Williston best, Hoskin, he's a star, and goals there, Waldhooter 4 as well. So some regular contributors there.
It is, and it's a big change for Jared Trainer. You know, there was some chats around whether he was going to play in Baross's A grade or not, and he's gone to Tanunda, another club probably at the moment that we see competing higher than Barossa, and he's got the vice captain. He's always been a leader. Brad, you've played with him, you know that, and he's performing as well as a forward when he's probably not asked to do as much, and he can just worry about kicking goals, which is good to see. We know the star Shay Linky is, and I think Tanunda, if they can stay fit and healthy, they're showing that they're going to be right at the top of the table, Brad.
That's right, Matt. Their star-studded lineup there. I think their top 6 is as good as any in the comp, and as we know, though, it does come down to depth. As a few injuries start to pile up, the winter sore spots start to come into it. You need that depth there. But their top 6 is as good as any. You look at, Cowham, Calhoun, Wildman, all the rest, Linky, Sutcliffe. So Linky and Sutcliffe, an interesting one. My mail says that they are fly in, fly out for their work. And as we know, local level football, that work has to come first, obviously. So we may see very different sides because they are 2 very quality players in the Barossa. They're up there with some of the best, and they're sort of going to come in and out potentially all year. But come finals, you'd like to think they're probably going to make themselves available. So if they make into the finals, good luck.
And Calhoun saying fit and healthy is going to be important for them as well. Let's have a look at game 2. It's Gawler Central 6-7-43. Defeated by Angaston 12-8-80. Got our tips right there, Brad. We both rate the Panthers very highly.
Yeah, we talked about last year, Angaston, they were competitive, they did a lot right, but they didn't get the wins on the board. So it's a win-loss industry. We know that, Chook, and they didn't do it last year, but they've started 2-0 and they're actually top of the ladder. So they can't be doing much better than that. Best for Gawler Central, they're Williams, 2 weeks in a row. He's a star. Goals there, Friend 2, and best for Angaston, Ryan Key with goals. Shepherd kicks the 4. Chook, Angaston, you like them? Yeah,
I'm a big fan of Angaston. I like what they're doing. They're playing a lot of kids, and they built that last year. We spoke about it last year. So I like the way that they're going forward. Hadzy's coach, I rate him as a coach as well. So they're in good hands. Don't just for Gawler Centrals. Ryan Williams, big recruit from Woodville West Torrens. He is a star, as well as Friend coming across from Portland. So he's been a handy recruit for the Tigers as well. I really worry for Gawler Centrals about where they are this year and what that's going to look like. And I think they keep getting injuries as well, which doesn't help. They had injuries round 1, they got injuries round 2. So the depth's going to be tested over the next couple of weeks. I'm not sure what the depth is like at the moment, but they could be in for a tough year, whereas the Panthers, really excited with what we've got there, Brad.
That's right. We will find out their depth over the next few weeks with a Thursday game as well, Chook, so they don't have long to rub those sore spots out. Third round, game of the round, Newry 18-18, 126 over the top of Freeling 5-7, 37. Freeling obviously had that great start to the year. Newry went down to South, and Newry have set the tone.
They have, and Canizaro, 2nd week in a row, best players. We spoke about how important, how good a player he is last week, and he's going to be super important for Newry as well, with Henke also kicking 5, a young superstar of the competition, someone I rate really highly. And for Freeling, it was McCluskey best and 5 individual goal kickers for the Redlegs. Big win for them last week, but I think we can see a little bit there of the difference in the competition. I think Newry this year, as good as South have been, and South start the year with a couple of wins, I think Newry might be the best side in the comp this year.
Yeah, you're not far off, Chook. And Canizaro, you touched on him. Best on ground 2 weeks in a row. And the thing I like about him at BLG level as well, he's the player that you want on the big stage. Come finals, it's going to be push and shove. He's a strong boy. He wins his own footy. He gets it forward, takes a big mark, kicks goals. He's everywhere. So he's not that outside player that needs to get other people to get in the ball. He's a star, and he'll be there at the pointy end of the season.
Yeah. fit, so he can play big minutes on the ball as well, which is important in a contested game of footy. Let's have a look at the last game, Brad, and this was probably closer than the people expected. And Kapunda, first game of the year, 11-12-78, defeated by South Gawler, 17-8, 110, some straight kicking by the Lions, but a lot closer than people suspect.
Very close, Matt, and we need to put our hand up for that as well. We probably thought it was going to be a bit of a bigger margin. 23 scoring shots, Kapunda to 25 South Gawler. That's a fantastic effort from Kapunda. 1 point up, Kapunda were in the last quarter at one stage, and then South just learnt to put the foot down. They did what they had to when they needed to, but that's really reassuring for Kapunda's start of the year. Their best rank, and he is a star. We know how good he is. Goals there, Robinson 3. For South, Best, Pisani, and they had 6 goal kickers on 2 goals. So we won't go through all them for time constraints on the show, will we, Chuck?
No, we won't, but I mean, that's a real positive thing from South Gawler to have 6 multiple goal scorers, or 6 kick multiple, is a really positive sign that they've got more than one avenue to goal, which you need to be successful and be at the top. Talked about Matty Rankin, a star at Paraka. I think he was skipper out there for a long period of time. So change of scenery for him, and Kapunda, they started recruiting pretty early into last year, building up for this year. And you can see with players like him, they've done that straight away. Another one, talk about Canizaro, played big minutes on the footy, really set the tone and kept Kapunda in the game. And with a result like that, Brad, I'm really excited to see what Kapunda can do this year. But as you said earlier, it's keeping your best 6 on the park. Depth does matter, but if you haven't got your stars that are on the big bucks and your best players, it can be very hard because it does drop off quite quickly. So interested to see how Kapunda can go this year, but I'm still very bullish about the Lions. They'll take some working out. They've lost a few. That's what happens when you have a premiership and players retire and whatnot. So exciting times, and looking forward to getting into round 3, Brad. So we'll have a quick break. We'll thank our sponsors, and we'll come back to preview round 3. As I said, thank you to our sponsors, Brad. They help the show come up each and every week and help us catch up, which is always a positive as well. It's Anzac Day round as well, so we'll have the 2 games on Anzac Day, which is a great tradition. Playing on the Thursday, as you mentioned, going to be tough. Sore boys needing to get up on Thursday will be tough, but they get the extended break with that as well. Let's have a look at those Anzac Day games. In game 1's Angaston taking on Newry, which is set to be a belter.
This will be a belter, Chook. Down at Angaston, this one. Angaston 2-0, sitting ripe on top of the ladder. Newry 1-1 with that loss to South Gawler. I don't know, I was going to say I'm going to tip a bit of an upset. I don't actually know what is an upset this year because it's all over the place. I think Angaston are a really nice side, and I think they might get it done.
Yeah, I like the Panthers. I will go with Newry, just their class and being at the top end. I'm going to go with Newry, which is good because the last couple of years when we do the show, Brad, we haven't had to disagree on many tips, which is a good thing about how strong this competition is at the moment, and we're excited for this year. Game 2, Brad, Williston v Gawler Centrals. Not sure we'll have any complaints here.
No, this one Anzac Day as well, under lights as well. Williston, that's a fantastic spectacle there. Williston 1-1, Gawler Central 0-2, looking for their first win, but licking their wounds with a few injuries, as you touched on. I think Williston, they'll stand up under lights and get it done. Yeah,
I'm going with the Donnybrooks as well. I think there's 8 or 9 injuries, could be more from Gawler Centrals from what I'm hearing. So it's going to be tough for them. But Anzac Day, the local rivalry, they do the Anzac Day medal for that game. I think it's Gawler RSL that get involved there as well. So that's going to be a belter. There'll be a big crowd there building up with netball and everything as well. So 6 o'clock start for the main game. And to note, the girls are actually playing before the A grade. So it'll be the reserves, the girls, and then the A grade. So
that'll be the first time ever.
Great spectacle for that as well. I think it is the first time ever. You are right as well. Let's have a look to the Saturday games. Brad, a regular first one, Freeling v Kapunda. Interesting one.
I'm going to give you an interesting scenario here, Chook. Freeling and Kapunda, they've struggled the last few years. Newry, if they get over Angaston, Freeling can go equal top if they get over Kapunda in this, and that's where we're sitting at with the ladder and how close it is. So this is a really interesting spectacle. They've both started really well. Kapunda only the one showing, but they've matched it with South Gawler for 3.5 quarters and just ran out of legs. So I'm going to go with Kapunda. Chook, just from all the ins and outs and all the research, I think Rankin's absolutely flying. I think they could get their first win of the year nice and early.
Yeah, I like Kapunda, and I'm probably with you on the Bombers as well, but a bit more 50-50. I like what Freeling can offer at home as well. Freeling very good, so it'll be interesting to see that one there. Let's have a look at the last game, Brad and Barossa taking on Tanunda.
Huge game this one, and a fantastic one to finish off. I'm glad we saved the best for last. Well, they're all good, Chook. Tanunda 1-1 and Barossa 0-1, just going into the bye and coming out of it. They will be wanting to get their win. They'll feel a long way off the pace if they don't get this done. They're a quality side, but so are Tanunda. I think Tanunda will get the chockies in their current form. Yeah, depending on a lot of their fly-in, fly-out workers. We don't have all the updated stats there, but I think Tanunda.
I'm with you. I think Tanunda, they're going to be too classy, and keeps Trent Gers off our back for a week, so keeps the phone from blowing up as well. So I'll go with the Pies there as well, Brad. But some great games. 3 of those 4 games I feel are 50-50, which is exciting for the Barossa. I think it's the closest the competition's going to be in a long period of time, or as long as I can remember, which is exciting, and looking forward to getting out and watching some local footy this weekend as well, Brad. Thank you to everyone for tuning in, and as we said, thank you to all of our sponsors. Hopefully we see you at one of the Anzac Day games on the weekend, if not Saturday at the local footy. Yeah, have a good week, and we'll see you all next week.